When it comes to wine production, Spain and Italy are two of the top 3 countries in the world, along with France. When we think about the great Spanish and Italian wines, red wines come to mind. Surprisingly, both countries produce more white wines than red wines. There are a lot of exciting white indigenous grapes here. We're gonna face off 4 different wines, 2 from Spain, 2 from Italy. From what I see amongst wine professionals, and I know it's true for me especially, is you start to get into more and more wines, you're tasting a lot of young red wines, sometimes that aren't necessarily ready to drink yet. Your palate starts to get tired. I find myself craving white wines a lot more. I think white wines, especially when young, there's a lot more diversity. And when it comes to aged wines, especially dry wines, some of the most moving experiences I've had are with bottle-aged whites, not reds. And what's great about these countries is there's a wealth of indigenous varieties. If you're sick of Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Riesling, some of these grapes are something you should check out. There's 2 different ways I do these tasting videos. One is sometimes I have to plan them out. I have to reach out to producers. It takes a long time to collect the samples. I'm working on a Syrah video that's taken almost a year to get all the samples together. You're emailing back and forth, people saying they're gonna send, they're not gonna send, they're not in stock yet. Or some videos like this, I have a lot of samples sent to me. I look at what I have. I said, hey, I can put together something that's educational and entertaining for you to watch. Let's get tasting. White wines, but I'm tasting out of a red wine glass. This is the Riedel Pinot Noir Performance glass. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite, maybe my favorite glass. Works well with obviously Pinot Noir, but I found it to work really well with white wines. Big bowl, got these unique optical striations that increase surface area. Riedel claims it's going to improve the flavor. Whatever, it's light, elegant, I love it. I have a link in the description box if you want to check it out. It's not cheap, but I love it. Okay, with the new videos I shoot, I'm going to try to make the experience a little more friendly for you. I'm going to move this way so it's more natural for you. Let's start out with wine 1. All these wines here come in from 22 to 31 US dollars, so pretty affordable, pretty high quality. Of course, they're going to be a lot less in Europe. Let's start out with wine 1. 1 is nice and limey, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of a creamsicle note, not too much. I don't think it's oak age. I think it's just kept on the dead leaves. What happens is when grape juice ferments into wine, the bacteria that converts everything into alcohol falls down, dies. That's lees. Winemakers use them to add body and flavor and complexity. Lemony, limey, leesy, and smoky. This is a type of wine that's got enough unique flavors, the liminess, the smokiness. It's got enough mineral stuff to, pull in some of us wine geeks, yet it's got enough fruit to appease a lot of wine drinkers. Sometimes the acidity can be a little too high, that sharp feeling, that tartness. This is not the case here. The acidity is very balanced. It's not the most complex wine in the world, but I think it is really good. That's really nice. Let's move on to 2. As always, I knew what these wines were beforehand. I just Coravin them, had somebody mix them up for me. 2's got a little bit more complexity. It's really complex. It's got white peaches, kind of got the subtle dried apple, bruised apple type flavor, not oxidized, but it's got that subtle hint. There's a little bit of smokiness. There's a little bit of wood in here too. Very complex. White peach, green apple, bruised apple. Just that slight kiss of vanilla, earth. I think this definitely sees the barrel. It's got this round creaminess to it. Again, it's not too sharp. It's just really good. When you start to taste a lot of wines, especially white wines, you get the sense of which wines were aged in the barrel. I think that's why a lot of people like Chardonnay. They like those rich flavors that really coat the palate. That's a really good wine. Really good. Let's move on to 3. This glass is awesome, by the way. This smells like the sea. Smells like seawater. White peach, a little bit of guava, salt, lemon. This is the type of wine I just picture myself. I'm going to the Dalmatian coast in Croatia to judge a rosé competition about a month after I'm shooting this. I would love to sit there on the coast, look over the sea, smell this, drink this with some white fish, some oysters. What I like about 3 is it tastes minimal intervention. Sometimes a lot of fresh white wines, inexpensive white wines, can taste a little bit predictable. This definitely does not. It's got a lot of texture, long finish. It's a nice wine. I don't think it sees the barrel, but it's nice. None of these wines here are too sharp with acidity, which a lot of people are going to like. Let's move on to 4. Wine 4 is definitely a style. This is not going to be for everybody. I think it's made deliberately, this style. It's going to have a little more bruised apple type flavors. Oh, Like a little bit oxidized, like a little bit like oxidized fruit, but not too much. You can tell it's deliberately made in the style. It even has more color. Something that you're gonna see in like a natural wine bar. Apple, so a little bit of apricot, cinnamon, almost a baked apple pie type flavor, really. Rich, full, complex. This is a wine that buyers beware. I wonder, a couple of these wines I have not tasted before, so I wonder if it was deliberately made in this style. Let's go with the reveal, shall we? My point with these videos are not for you to get excited and drink these exact same wines that I have, because availability is different in different markets. I just want you to expand your palate, try new grapes, try different things, because wine's wonderful. It's diverse, which we see here. These are not all generic white wines. They were all very, very different. Let's start out with wine 1. With lemon, lime, easy, smoky, balanced acidity. This is going to be familiar enough for a lot of people to enjoy white wines, yet it offers a unique twist. I gave it 89 points. I'm excited to see how these wines shape up. I have one wine here that's made by a friend. That's why I had to taste it blind to be completely objective. Let's start with wine 1. 89 points. Let's see what it looks like. 89 points. Okay. The smokiness, I picked up on it. This is the Produttori Etna Noir, brand new producer on Etna. Etna Bianco 2021. This comes in at $30. Mostly made of the grape Caricante. Etna's an amazing region, the highest active volcano in Europe. When you're there, it's in Sicily. You look up, you see a smoking volcano. It's really incredible. I think Etna goes over 10,000 feet, definitely over 3,000 meters. Etnas can get very expensive. They're really trendy. They age nice. My problem with a lot of Etna Biancos is sometimes they don't taste like anything but mineral acid water. I think this is lovely. $30 less when you're in Italy. I think that's a great way to get introduced to the region. This is a brand new producer, brand new project, and as far as Etna wines, that's a complete steal. Great. Etna is now dubbed as the Burgundy of the Mediterranean, with Caricante as the whites. The whites are starting to be more in demand than the reds. The reds are made of Nerello Mascalese, Nerello Cappuccio. Fantastic wine. That's the wine that I recommend most for people that want to just introduce normal wine drinkers to new things, or casual wine drinkers to new things. Let's move on here. Let's go to wine 4. I gave it 90 points because of its complexity. More of a minimal intervention style. This is not going to be for everybody. I'm telling you that right now. For me personally, I like these styles of wines. Some kind of bruised fruit type flavors, but a complexity, you cannot deny it. I gave it 90 points. Now, I'm going to reveal and see. I wonder if it was made in this style or maybe it's a bad bottle. I kind of like it. That's what happens. Let's see here. Let's see here. No, it's made in this style. This is the Las Moradas de San Martin Albillo Riedel 2020. This comes in at $30. Albillo is a name of a group of grapes. This is from Sierra de Gredos, which is a hot, trendy area. I was at this estate a couple months ago. They use a technique called hyperoxidation. What happens is they take a batch of wine and they oxidize it so it changes color really quickly, get some of these bruised flavors. What happens is that color falls out, it stabilizes the wine, and then when you add it to the other wines, it adds a little bit of complexity, richness. This comes in at $30, 90 points. I thought it was delicious. This is the kind of wine that's going to be served at natural wine bars. I think it's really nice. That producer does excellent Garnacha too. Sierra de Gredos is a trendy area for Garnacha, more Pinot Noir like Garnacha, or more Burgundy style. They can be quite leathery. Fantastic producer, delivers good value for money. Let's move on here. Let's go with number 3. This is the one that really smelled like the sea. Lots of lemon flavors. I thought it was really a beautiful wine, something that I want to have with white fish, oysters. I gave it 90 plus points. Again, this wine along with wine number 1 are going to be the wines that maybe are easier for more casual drinkers that are drinking white wines normally. Let's take a look here. Wow, this is the one by my friend. This is the Nomades. This is her first vintage. This is a Fiano from Campania, so it's from near the sea. Get the seawater. Comes in at $31 US. Limited run. It's only available in Italy. I don't think it's imported to the US at the moment. 12.5 alcohol. But here's the thing. Fiano is one of my favorite white grapes in Italy, along with Friulano and Verdicchio. Fiano is wonderful. Campania, it's in the south of Italy. Naples is the capital, home of amazing food. The signature red grape varieties are Aglianico and Piedroso, but grapes like Fiano, Falangina, which she also makes, are really good, really trendy right now. So if you're in Italy, beautiful label. Greek woman. I met her while judging at a competition. I really liked the wine. I thought it was really good. And I'm glad I tasted it blind. Okay. Wine number 2, round, creamy, complex. I felt like it maybe had some barrel aging to it. It was really good, 91 plus points. And I am, wow, this is the least expensive wine in the bunch. The Alzania, this is the Gardacho. Garnacha Blanca, 2022. This comes in at $22 from Navarra in Spain. Garnacha Blanca is a mutation of Garnacha Tinto. It's also known in France as Grenache Blanc. Responsible for some excellent wines in the Roussillon, some white Chateauneuf de Pape, so they're super expensive. I'm glad this finished well because I'm really impressed with Garnacha Blanca in Spain, and they are absurd value for money. This is $22. Probably in Spain it's probably like $11. Small producer. When I'm in Spain, I'm always impressed with their Garnacha Blanca. It's something I want to have by glass. This one was a little creamier, but I like the liminess. There's sometimes some stone type flavors. I think that's a delicious wine. It was split decision how the order went. It went Italy, Spain, Italy, Spain. So tell me, what do you think about Spanish white wines versus Italian white wines? Any favorite grape varieties? I'd love to hear. Drop it in the comments below.